Good evening, everybody. This is Under the Shell podcast 15 for a second time this evening. We have a metal chef as our guest. My Wyatt, my Wyatt, Wyatt, my honorable co-host. He's not my property.
Oh, baby. I could be your Wyatt. If that's what you want, I could be whatever you wanted me to be, baby.
I'm taken, bro, but I will take you any day.
I already got called gay once tonight. I don't mind. I can own it. I can own it. You should see the color of my fingernails right now. It's adorable.
Is it black?
No, I went with blue this time. Baby blue.
Baby blue?
Yeah, I've got this. I've got some new rings coming, and I painted my nails to match one of the rings, but it's taking forever to arrive. It's gonna look so sick.
That's so adorable.
Yeah.
So, what's up, Miro?
Oh, good evening. Thank you for the invitation. It's a real pleasure to be here with you guys to chat a little bit.
So, as I said a bunch of times in the intro, you're chef and you're listening to our genre of music, which is mostly metalcore, metal-ish stuff like that.
Yes, heavy stuff. Since I remember myself, like 10 years ago, when I was 10.
So Dimitar gave you the title of metal chef. What's it mean to be a metal chef instead of a regular chef?
Maybe because I have a lot of tattoos. I don't know.
Oh, very good, very good. That was quick. I love it.
Actually, he has a bunch of architect tattoos, which are pretty cool.
Really?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Do you have a YouTube channel, you said? Dimitar,
Yes,
can you
yes,
link me? I want to see what he looks like.
Yeah,
if you
sure.
don't mind.
Sure.
I have a whole sleeve dedicated to architects. Actually, Tom Searle and Sam Carter, they are on my hand.
Really? They're on your hands? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Wow. Like you have realism portraits on your hands, and they're the members of architects.
Yes, something like
Wow, you are a metal chef. Dimitar was right. That's awesome, dude. That's very good.
Yeah. And he's doing videos about healthy eating, healthy cooking.
Okay, I have one. I'm going to put on one of your videos with no sound for my stream to check out right now in the background while we talk.
that. Very nice.
I want to see what you look like. Sounds bomb.
Yeah, it's too bad that I can't play metal music for background to my cooking videos because my
Copyright?
my viewers will not approve it.
Oh, really? Oh, different demographic. Got you.
Yes.
That's always tough. It's interesting how like metal's one of the only genres where you can't get away with playing it everywhere. Yet what the numbers show is it worldwide has a more engaged listener base than any other genre. So you think it'd be fine, but it's like weird how like the most extreme genre has more fans than everybody else, but is also not accepted anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
I guess
know
it's
what you mean.
I guess it's because this is one
Bunch
of the
pussies.
this too, but probably this is the one of the only genres that are just not so radio friendly,
Yeah.
and you have to deliberately listen to it. So you get involved in it. You can't hear architects or Shadow of Intent on the radio, at least not in Bulgaria.
You can't hear. You have to put on like XM satellite here is where you can find stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not on mainstream FM or whatever. Although radio's dying worldwide, man. There's parts of Europe, like Northern Europe, like the Scandinavian countries. I think 2 of them now have literally shut down FM and AM except for emergency broadcasts.
Weird.
Why?
Here in Bulgaria,
because nobody consumes them, and the amount of money it costs to keep the infrastructure going is just not worth it when no one listens. Do you guys, is radio big in your country? Radio's dying here. No one listens to radio here.
Well, we're 20 years behind everybody else, so...
Oh, really? So this is shocking news for you.
Yes, it actually is.
Wow. Oh, wow, dude. No, here it's like literally like everybody's got Apple CarPlay or Spotify or something. Like we just listen to like our iPhones in the car or something, or your, not your, I shouldn't say iPhone, but your device somewhere, and that's usually what it is as far as it goes. Like I don't know anybody who regularly listens to the radio except for Lindsay's dad when he's working on his car in the garage, and he's like 50 years old. So that's like it.
By the way, just before you joined us, me and Miro were talking about it, and we were actually talking about the fact that he's still using Winamp. Do you remember Winamp, Wyatt?
No, I don't. Let me look
You
it up.
don't?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
oh, you
Winamp?
millennials.
WINAMP.
Yeah, that's like the hardcore music player for Windows, like the OG player.
It was the only one when I was young.
Oh wow.
He's 32.
So like this is what would come before iTunes, I guess you could say.
Well, the iTunes is the Mac version. This one is just a simple player, like media player for MP3 and stuff like that.
So you guys don't have Spotify?
We do have it, but
Sorry, I didn't mean it. I just am shocked. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that,
No,
that to come off like that. I
we
was like,
do.
what?
we do have it. But we were talking that I'm using Spotify all the time because I don't want to deal with files and downloading and uploading to a bunch of devices and flash drives and whatever. I'm just using Spotify. But he's
Yeah.
old school, so he's using the OG players, with.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to
Very
download the
good, very
file
good.
and stuff like that.
Very
But,
good. There's definitely. Go ahead.
Yeah, you forget to mention that in Bulgaria, piracy is very popular and everybody was downloading everything from the internet. Nowadays, not so much.
This is exactly what you just said, because 20 years ago, piracy was the only way to get music. That's where everybody got their music. But 20 years ago, that was the case. Well, 15 years ago. 15 years ago. Like 2005, 2008's when the industry collapsed because of piracy. And it really started in the early 2000s. And by 2005, it was everywhere. Like LimeWire and FrostWire and uTorrent and BitTorrent were the ways to get music for all of North America, essentially. And it totally ruined the music industry here. But that was the old way of doing it. Now in the ashes of that system, we had Apple Music and Spotify come out of it, and Deezer and Pandora and whatever. All these different. The big two are Apple and
Yeah.
those are the big two. They came out of it and they offered a way that was just basically downloading music, but for a very small fee. So now you're basically still stealing your music. You're just stealing it on a subscription base
Legally.
where, you're just stealing it legally. Exactly. That's what they did. They just packaged the stealing into something that everybody can do and not feel bad about it, even though it's essentially the same fucking thing.
Yeah, but here we have two or three major torrent trackers who are still alive and kicking, and pretty much every type of media or software, almost everything, you can pirate it out. And everybody knows it. It's like, what is it called? Public secrecy. So everybody knows it. The government knows it, but everybody's using it and nobody's doing jack shit about it. So pretty much every music genre, every movie, even the softwares like editing softwares and stuff like that, you can just pirate it out.
Huh.
Actually, Pavel, your guest from the last podcast, I remember one story with him. He was sending pirate movies to one guy in USA in return of band T-shirts. Yes,
Yo,
yes, it's a true story.
He's listening right now. He's now he's in my he just said yes, dude. He's in my Twitch chat.
Because
that's awesome.
One night out for two people in USA cost a lot less than one T-shirt.
Damn.
Oh, damn. That's interesting. Wow.
Something
go.
like that. Yeah.
So we're something like a third world country to you, Wyatt.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize that. I wasn't aware of that. Why is that the case? It's just because of where you're located?
Well, it's because
You're former Soviet, right?
Yeah, that's the reason.
All right. There you go.
And the problem is that not only we're former Soviet, but this mentality is still pretty much alive to this day.
Yep.
So here, the saying that a musicianship is not an actual job is in full swing still.
That's so twisted.
Yeah.
Well,
So back to cooking.
Oh, okay.
yeah. What's the okay? So if I'm a metal listener, if I'm like, what type of metal are you into? Are you into the kind of stuff that Dimitar performs on his channel for the most part? Like kind of like the Bring Me the Horizons, the Wage Wars, Architects, Northlanes, all like the metalcore stuff that we kind of cover a lot of. Is that where you kind of sit with as far as your listenership goes? I know you have Architect sleeves, so I guess so, right?
Yes, and I have also one more band tattoo. It's the Devil Wears Prada on my. I have their logo on my neck.
Wonderful. Okay, so my question is, since you are very clearly, now we've established this, you are very clearly a metal chef, by all means. As a metal chef, if I was to come to you and I was to say, prepare me a meal that I will pair with, holy hell, the record, just like put on the record in the background, and I'm going to pair a meal with that. What would you create?
This is the best question you've asked so far in this podcast, Wyatt.
Just I know
Hands down.
There's a lot. Thank you, Dimitar. I appreciate that. There's a lot of like ways that you could go with this, but I'm really interested to see what kind of, because these are two very deep arts, right?
Yes.
And like, when you hear the sound, what does that influence in your own creativity in the kitchen? That's my question.
Well, it's a very tough question. But
Take your time. Think about it for a sec.
yeah, I will think. Okay. Actually, Holy Hell is not my favorite Architects album, but it's definitely one of the most painful because it's after Tom died. So maybe the meal should be something epic. But I'm a big fan of Italian cooking, actually, Italian cuisine.
Okay.
So it might be something with pasta or maybe some risotto. I don't know if you're vegan or vegetarian because it's very popular right now. But
No,
I
dude,
will
I'm a
definitely
carnivore, if
put some.
anything.
Oh, I will put some meat inside. So
Yeah.
so yeah, maybe some steak with some very nice risotto.
What would be the appetizer before the meal?
Oh, the appetizer.
Yeah, like the first serving, because if it's Italian, we have more than one course, of course, right?
Yeah, maybe some cold cuts, cheeses or
Cool.
this ham. They have this prosciutto ham or Parma ham. I don't know how you call it.
Parmesan.
No, Parmesan. Parma ham. It's
The meat.
dry
yeah.
meat. Yeah, dry
Yes.
meat.
Dead
my
animals.
mistake, Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Dead
yeah, I could
animals.
see that. I could see that for sure. I mean, yeah, you need to incorporate. Just being real, you would need to incorporate some sort of death in something like that, which is interesting too because. Yeah, I mean, just to be straight, right? It's interesting too because like that band is 100% vegan. So like, I was
Really?
curious to see if that. Yeah, well, not all of them.
I
Tom
know.
was vegan. Sam is vegan, and then Tom's brother Dan, I think, is vegan. So 3 out of the 5 are
Yeah.
vegan that I know of. I don't know if the other guys are.
I think Josh, the new member, it's also vegetarian, maybe not totally
Yes,
vegan, but
yes. I believe you're right on that. I believe vegetarian. That's right.
So, but
Yeah.
I'm not so. I mean, I love meat. In Bulgaria, we all love meat, so I will not go this way.
We are tough men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I eat a ton of meat. I tried everything. Look, like people get food is a religion, right? And people get very behind their own personal choices when it comes to their dietary practices. But me personally, I've tried all of it. I've been vegan. I did vegetarian for 2 years. I've been carnivore, just straight carnivore, just literally red meat, salt, pepper, water. I've been keto. I've been keto a bunch of times. I've gone keto and lived off of like a ton of high fatty food.
Did it work?
And every diet. See, this is the thing. This is why I don't stick to one. This is why I don't have some sort of like Nazi rigid. This is the one. There is no one, right? It's like at the drum set. I mean, I'm going to use the drum set because it's the thing that I'm most qualified in comparing it to. But there's a lot of better examples I can think of as well. But the drum set, people ask me, like, which pedals do you use? And I tell them which pedals I use in the different scenarios I'm in. People ask me, how do you grip your sticks? And I tell them how I grip my sticks based on the scenario I'm in, based on if I'm going for speed or if I'm going for power, if I'm going slower, or if I'm going soft. There's a lot of intricacies in everything. And depending on what the demands are on my body, I can adjust my diet based on the diets that I've tried to meet what I need at the time, right? So I think that all of them have worked in certain ways. The ones that I felt the most sick on, the ones that I felt like I was not being rewarded and I could not get the energy that I needed to perform. Now at the time I was seriously strength training. So it's really not fair to say this because I don't think I was matching the right tool with the task at hand. But that was vegetarian and vegan. Vegan and vegetarian was the hardest. That was like, I don't know. I felt like I was going to die. And then when I introduced meat back into my diet, it was like within a couple weeks, my body had literally regained all its strength. I put weight back on, and I just felt like energy was coursing through me. The most intense for energy were the keto ones. Any diet that doesn't have sugar in it, I've found those are the ones that really fucking sharpened my saw as far as like my own cognitive ability and function. Like when I'm talking like really want to dive into something and achieve a high flow state and get things done with no friction whatsoever, with like true focus. Those ones always are fat based. Like running on fat and protein. And I think the studies are starting to, well, I'm not going to use that word because too many people abuse that fucking phrase. But I think there's a lot of evidence to show that the human brain runs a lot better on fat in comparison to carbohydrates. At least that's how it felt a lot better for me. Navy SEALs are keto. Like there's something to it. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. Have you tried intermittent fasting? Because
yes,
I'm
for sure.
big fan.
I actually right now I'm on a loose intermittent fasting diet, and it's not strict, but I only eat 2 meals a day, and they're both in the evenings before bed. One will be I just ate my first meal, and it's 3:00, and I've been up since 7, and then my second meal will be in 2 to 3 hours, and then I'll be done for the day, and then I'll eat again the following day same time.
Because the intermittent fasting also give this sharp focus that you were talking about. At least for me, first 8 hours with no food, I'm doing so much job done.
How can you function? I'm dying out of hunger all the time.
This is the first 2, 3, 5 days. After this, you're okay.
Dimitar, I also think it comes a little bit back to what I was describing earlier, which is you need to understand the tool for the task. I think intermittent fasting, if you're in like what you're going through right now, because I know a little bit of your lifestyle, I don't think you can perform underneath that right now. Your body needs constant fuel. Your body is constantly needing to repair and be fueled through your daily tasks. I think that as you dial your lifestyle back from where you are at 110%, closer to 60 to 70%, as you start to achieve the goals that you have set in front of you, I think it's going to be a lot easier for you to reduce your workload, and in that you'll be able to maintain an intermittent fast very easily. When I was at the top of my physical performance and my grind, like the 2 a.m. the midnight wake ups, I was eating 6 to 7 meals a day, and most of them were basically paleo. I wasn't full keto at the time, but I was as little sugar as possible, high fat content, high protein content. And that was how I got through. Yeah, that's how I got through when I was not sleeping and I was grinding like a crazy motherfucker. That's how I did it. I couldn't do it on anything else. Intermittent fasting didn't work for me at those times. But if you reduce a little bit, once you start to stabilize, once you stop having to live 2 lives, having the day job and the second day job, of course, being the side hustle, and you can just start to focus more on one. When you get to that point, I think that it'll be a lot easier for you to go into intermittent fasting.
Well, God bless you, and let's see that happen.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Fuck yeah.
So I got a bunch of interesting questions towards Miro. So since we're talking about music here and the majority of us 3 are musicians, could you give us, or people in general which are traveling a lot, well, not in the coronavirus, but in general, like touring musicians or people who are constantly on the move, like just what said right now. Because today, to be honest, today I've eaten once, and it was a big fat. Well, I don't know how it's in English. In Bulgaria and Turkish, it's called döner, which
I think
Wyatt
it's
is
kebab.
kebab or something.
Kebab. Yeah, kebab.
Yeah, it was with the
Nice.
size of my hand. It was huge, and I just
King
ate it.
size.
Yeah, king size, and I ate it as I was walking towards the studio. I didn't even stop to eat it properly. So for people who are traveling a lot, or hustling hard, or or just busy in general, they're not. They don't have the luxury to cook for 2 or 3 hours, fancy meals and stuff like that. What would be a good choice to stay, with good nutrition and as healthy as possible?
Uh, well, I have a whole series about that. I mean, 4 or 5 videos for this topic, and basically it's all about the preparation. For 2 hours, you can cook food enough for 3 days ahead. So basically, this is what I'm doing. So if you know what you will eat after 3 days, you don't have to stress about it, and you don't have to think, will I have food for the Thursday or Sunday. And what I'm doing is basically I take a lot of vegetables, I take a lot of rice. When I cook like 1 kilogram of rice, I have for 5 days ahead. So you don't have to eat junk food on the street. And basically you need to have a lot of glass boxes that you can prep food and take it with you whatever you go. So if you
Interesting you
work,
bring up. Interesting you say glass. Why glass?
I don't like plastic.
I'm the same way. I was just curious to see if there's more reason than that. I'm the same way. I avoid plastic, especially for like the reheating, because I feel like you can feel how the container sort of deflates in the microwave, and it's like,
Yes.
yeah, it's not the same thing.
Also, when you put hot food in plastic, it's not very healthy option, I think.
Yeah.
There,
You,
there
you,
are
you
some
think
studies.
it's
yes.
emitting something?
Yeah,
there are some
BM
studies. Yeah,
What is
that
it?
show that.
BMTAs or something? The fuck is it? There's
Uh,
something that the plastic gives off. That's why plastic has a life cycle. Like when you have a plastic water bottle, you're not supposed to reuse it, and you're not supposed to reuse it for a reason. There's things that leach into the water that aren't so great for you, and companies know this. And every plastic leaches depends on the reusability of the plastic, how long it will take, but all will eventually.
Yes.
No, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of plastic boxes at home, but I try to not use them for staying, to putting the food for long periods of time in there. For one day it's okay, but 3-4 days and especially if I'm going to reheat it in the microwave, as you said,
Yeah,
I'm trying to avoid it.
I need to start taking notes.
absolutely.
So what you're saying is that in these 2 or 3 hours that you're cooking, you're just basically cooking a lot of fillers like rice and vegetables.
Yes, basically I'm doing meal prep, like all
Yeah.
these fitness gurus that tell you will cook Sunday for the whole week. Well, not for the whole week, but at least for 3 days you can cook. And you need 20 minutes for the rice, you need like 1 hour for the meat, and veggies are 5-10 minutes, I don't know. Something like that. So basically you can cook,
Yeah, I just thought of another question, which is actually bumming me out for the last couple of years. Is it true that it's not really healthy to eat a lot of whole eggs? Like, how many a day can you eat?
This is
Well,
like is
Because-
meat wrong to eat or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There's-
because I've read a bunch of articles, and because I fucking love eggs, and I'm eating like 5 or 6 per meal.
Oh, bro, I was eating 12 a day when I was fucking, I kid you not. I would do whole carton omelet, scramblets, where I'd put 4 different types of vegetables in a pan with an entire carton of eggs, mix it all up and eat that. And I would be 2 meals throughout the day. I'd have it for breakfast, then I'd take it with me to the mall or wherever I was working, and I would throw it back 2-3 hours later, and that would be my second meal. My chat says, "What the fuck? That's so many eggs." Well, have you seen my covers? I got big, bro. It worked.
Yeah. By the way,
Jesus
Wyatt is
Christ.
huge.
I was. I haven't worked out in a year, but
So
No,
I
but you-
maybe
but
I
you're a-
watch old videos. Yeah.
You're a tall motherfucker.
oh yes, I'm 6'3" to bit. Yeah.
6'3". What was that in centimeters? You and your imperial systems.
I'll convert it for you.
I'm gonna do it. 6'3", 2 centimeters.
It's 190 centimeters. 190.5.
Dude,
Whoa,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
I'm a fucking dwarf.
Yeah, you are.
So for
I got
the eggs,
a lot of height on you.
if you don't get sick from so much eggs, I don't see a problem eating so much. So,
I do 6 meals a day, and the first 2 were 6 eggs each, and it'd be like the same meal kind of thing.
Oh damn!
I put
I'm
salsa, I
5'7".
Yeah, you're 5'7". That's like a couple inches higher than Lindsay.
Still higher.
Yeah, it's still taller. You got her beat.
So
I'm sorry, I interrupted though.
yeah,
forgot what you said
I
right away,
lost my
really
train of
interesting.
thought.
No. Let's go back to the question at hand.
Yeah, about the meal preps.
Yeah. So, one thing I wanted to bring up about the meal preps too that I've personally found, and I like that you said 3 days. 7 is, if you're doing 7, I feel like the quality of the food as well as the storing of it is like not going to be as potent. I feel like 3 is perfect for storing from a preserving nutrition basis. I don't know if that's the case. I'm not a cook, but I mean, yeah. Would you agree with that?
yes, of course, because just the freshness, the veggies start
Yeah.
to go really, really soggy and mushy. I don't like them. So
Yeah.
3 days is perfect for me, and I can cook 2-3 times per week, no problem, for 2 hours.
Another thing about the meal prep is, and this has really helped me over the years, is you're going to find yourself, any high-functioning content creator or any high-functioning individual is going to know this, you're going to find yourself at times where you do not have the ability to worry about your diet, because you're grinding. And when you're grinding, you can't pull yourself out of flow until the time comes to physically be pulled out. And one thing for me with meal prep was always the fact that, like, if I have a meal planned from 3 days ago in the fridge, ready to go, I can put it in the mic or in the oven, and I can get that done in a very short period of time, and I know it's there, well, it's going to stop me from ordering something. It's going to stop me from ordering a pizza. It's going to stop me from ordering some Uber Eats. And then, even though I'm in a shitty place and probably craving that high carbohydrate content, I'm more likely to just go to the fridge and follow through with what I've already agreed to myself that I will follow through with as of 3 days prior to it. So I think that's a big part of it too. The psychological,
yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah, the psychological cache of having that's available for me. Now I don't have to fucking stop by McDonald's on the way home or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? I think that can make a big difference in your diet.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big one for me because the last few days, ever since the COVID shit, my daily schedule and my daily agenda mixed up a little bit, and I'm still trying to recover all my the flow. And the last couple of days, I've been ordering pizzas and hamburgers like crazy, and I hate myself for that. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. When you're hungry, you don't take good decisions for your health and for your
and when you're horny
life.
too.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I know when I don't have prepared food, I usually eat chocolate for lunch.
Yeah. Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
About the carbs, are whole grain always better, and does it really make a difference? Like, let's say for pasta, for rice.
Well, they have better nutrition.
And more fibers.
In terms of calories, it's the same, almost the same, but they have just a little bit better nutrition, I think. So, more fibers, and actually, yeah, they are good. If you need to choose between white flour and whole grain flour, choose whole grain. So.
By the way,
It's better for you.
have any of you two done scrambled eggs in microwave in your life?
Bro, I've never been that broke. Get the fuck away
This is the worst meal ever.
I've never
you
been
don't
that
have you
broke
don't have
and
a
in that
stove
much of
at
a
home
hurry.
or what?
Yeah, what are you doing, fool?
I
Yo,
was
you
just
go outside, get a big stone, put it
wa-
underneath some twigs, and light that shit on fire. Okay, you're gonna have a better time making scrambled eggs than you will in the mic.
I was just trying things out, okay?
My chat says, "What the fuck? Why would you do that?"
So what you do is you just break some eggs in a big mug. You heat it for like 10 seconds, take it out, scramble, take it in, again heat for 10 seconds, and you're doing this for a whole minute, and it tastes like shit.
Yes, of course.
Dude, if I had to resort to that, I would just drink them.
Yeah, better
I've
take
done
them
that.
raw.
You've done
Yeah,
that?
no, oh yeah, are you kidding me? That was the old school protein shake back before they realized salmonella was a thing.
Back in my days.
Yeah, well, my dad used to. Like, my dad was in football for 30 years, and they didn't have whey protein isolate like we have now that you can just take in a shaker and take to the gym and take immediately after a workout. So he would put 6 to 12 eggs in a blender with some other things that his body needs. He'd blend it raw, and he would drink the whole blender standing in the kitchen, and then he would get on with his day. And that's literally what his post-workout was for like 15 years. And like guys like Arnold and like these old school bodybuilders before whey, that's what they were doing, man. So yeah, I've totally drank eggs. No, they're not that bad, man. Honestly, it goes down pretty quick.
I need to try that.
Actually, this is one of most
There's a
asked
lot-
questions, of my viewers. Can we eat raw eggs? And I'm always like, yeah, the fuck, you can. But there is salmonella, we will die.
So
It's not true, yeah. It's not a problem.
what I've always told when people ask when I've gone on this subject is I don't know yes or no. Now you say yes, so okay, perfect. So then it's easier. So now I haven't been risking myself this whole time. But prior to that, what I always did was I just made sure to buy my eggs if I was going to drink them raw at like a very high quality organic type place, because I thought that maybe buying cheaper, I'd have there'd be higher likelihood for disease and ailments. You know what I'm saying? So I just made sure to get like organic, the best I could, like local farm instead of bullshit Walmart supermarket kind of stuff. But if there's no difference, then there you go. You're good to go. The interesting thing about the egg, too, the egg contains trace minerals and vitamins of every single vitamin and mineral the human body needs to function.
Yes. It's actually a superfood, and it's very
There you
cheap.
go.
So
actually.
why are they saying that you should be eating this amount of eggs per week, per day?
Because
Oh.
this is old.
Because
old
there's this
information,
myth
I
that
think.
cholesterol has anything to do with having heart disease. But if they did some cardio, you'd be fine.
I'm doing a lot of cardio. I'm playing metal.
You'll be fine. Get that double kick speed up. You'll live a long, happy life.
Yo, today I was filming a Whitechapel song, and it was not one of the pretty hardcore ones. It was just pretty moderate. Bro, I was leaking everywhere after that.
Leaking everywhere? What were you leaking, dude? Sorry, Jesus Christ.
Sweat.
Bro, to an English speaker, that was not the right context.
Oh,
It's dripping, okay?
oh, dripping. Yeah, fine. Okay. Okay, now I see what you mean.
Leaking just sounds terrible.
Okay, I was dripping. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry
Oh my
about the
God.
Twitch chat.
No, yeah, I can totally see that. Your covers are getting really good, man. I was watching them in bed last night with Lindsay.
Oh,
I had you up on the main TV there in the living room.
oh, that's so sweet. You're an angel.
My chat specifically being Alex, says, tell him to cover when a demon defiles a witch.
Well, Alex, you'll be waiting for a long time, my friend.
Yeah, he's trying to get me to cover every Architect song or Whitechapel song, but I don't punish myself like that anymore.
I mean, the feels are so death metalish, which is so uncommon for me. Like the 5 toms or something, and you're just like going. I can't do this on a 4-piece kit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You have
That's
to
a big part
incorporate a
of it.
lot of bass drum and doing fraction fills just to sound right. And yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, I have one question for you.
Of course.
Because I'm not a musician, but Nick Peterson, the Northlane drummer, it's actually one of my favorite drummers in terms of creativity. What you think about him?
You go what?
Oh, yeah, I think Nick's fantastic. Yeah. I've talked about him in creativity. Yeah, I like how you said that. I wouldn't say he's like the most skilled, you know. Well, he's a fairly skilled drummer. I think he meets the standards of any really successful drummer, like as far as his skill set goes. I wouldn't say he's necessarily highly above it, because he's not really pulling off anything that any other drummer couldn't do. But what's interesting about his playing is the creativity. He has unbelievable creativity within the playing and the songs, and the thing about him too is if he is actually like, if it's improvisation, I take back what I said. But if he's writing out those parts, and then when you go watch him live, he plays the exact same or fairly close to what he played in the studio, then wow, because there's a lot of movement going inside of like his drum sections. Also, the way that whole band disregards 4/4 grouping, but still a lot of the time stays within technically 4/4, but just the way they transition over bar lines and do these odd groupings is really interesting to listen to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's the poor man's gents. When you're 4/4, but you sound like broken.
Poor man's gent. I thought gent was more to do with guitar tone.
That's ghetto gent. Yeah, I mean
Ghetto gent. That's ghetto gent when you can't be bothered to change the time signature from 4/4. Is that it?
Yeah. You're
Goddamn.
incorporating the zeros, but you're not incorporating the odd times.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Dan Cyril from Architects, because I've played a lot of Architect songs, and I think I have a video of Hereafter, and I don't remember anymore. But he's not as technical, just like Wyatt said, and he's definitely a very good drummer. But having looked at Architect songs closer and learning them, I find that he has a unique approach. You know, the little fills, the ghost notes, the here and there, just some random effect symbol like a splash or something. He's just placing him so right. You know, he's doing his job very well, even though he's not George Collias or any other inhuman drummer.
Flo Munier. Do
Yeah.
you know Flo Munier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Cryptopsy.
for me, the most cyborg inhuman drummer out there is Chris Turner from Ocean's 8 Alaska. I don't know how to call him. He's just, I've never seen something like him before.
I don't know. I always think that death metal bands, technical death metal bands, have the best blast beat drummers, but this is just from
Yeah,
listener.
but
I'm not
but
musician. Yeah.
yeah, but tech that it's just that. It's nothing else to it. It's just speed and endurance, and they're basically very accurate marathon runners.
Yeah, it's not so interesting.
Yeah,
Listen.
where if you're watching drum covers of Ocean's 8, actually not drum covers but drum playthroughs by Chris, and he's playing Ocean's 8 Alaska songs, this guy is close to a heart attack every single second.
He's in great shape too.
Yeah. Well, imagine having to play all that.
Yeah.
I will check them after the podcast.
My somebody asked me earlier. Somebody said that they can't blast, so they're gonna quit drums, and I was like, what the fuck? Blasting's like the easiest thing you can do. Like
Yeah.
blasting is so simple and so easy. Like it's something that I just don't do because it's not interesting. There's nothing to it. I was like, bro, blast beats are like what you first learn. They're like literally day one. Nobody.
Well,
like,
it's just single strokes anyway.
That'd be like you being a chef and you cooking fucking grilled cheese every day. It's like at some point you're gonna be like, what am I doing? Like, yeah, you're making a great grilled cheese, I'm sure, by like the third day in. But it's still just a fucking grilled cheese. You know what I mean? Like, it's so boring. It's just taking the sticks and placing them in time over and over as fast as you can. So when I had to train for speed, I sat in my basement 6 hours a day listening to Joe Rogan. I do 2 podcasts a day. I sat there and I had the fucking click track on and I would go right, left, like this, as fast as I could for 6 hours a fucking day for 2 months. And at the end of it, I vowed I'm never doing a fast song again because there's no point to this.
This was for the Jared Dines one, right?
Yeah, the Whitechapel song. It's just there's no point to it. It's not like you're doing something that the computer's going to be replacing you with, because the computer's going to be more accurate and it's going to sound better to do it digital with a trigger, because if you do that on real drums, it won't sound good. Like, it doesn't sound good at all, right? Like, anytime somebody's going above 200 beats per minute on a drum, it has to be sample replaced or heavily EQ'd, because it just becomes mud in a mix. A real drum would.
Yeah.
But the fake drums that they use make it sound okay. But that's my thing with the speed and the blast beat stuff, is just to, like, it's just so boring. I mean, it can be really impressive what they're doing. Like, don't get me wrong, they're making some badass grilled cheese sandwiches, but it's still just a grilled cheese sandwich, man.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in the pit, in the live concert. So.
Yeah. I mean, for a fan, yeah, fuck yeah. But from a drummer standpoint, I guess I'm just talking to that point there.
Yes, I understand what you're thinking. This is like watching these celebrity chefs on the TV. They're making some very nice texts and presentation, and when you're a chef or a cook, doesn't matter, and everybody else are like, wow, what impressive stuff, and you're like, this is everyday job, so it's not impressive. Yeah.
Well, actually, what I thought the other day, because I was learning a rather simple and slow song, and I was like, man, the simple songs are so much harder to learn, because the hits are so scarce, and the way that they're placed, you need to learn every single hit like 100%. There is no room for improv at all, and if you miss something, it's gonna be noticeable. Whereas if you're playing fast, nobody gives a shit if you miss like 1, 2, 4, 5 hits. I mean, you can just lose it in the mud, as Wyatt said. But
the other thing too is somebody in my chat just said, "See, but it takes years and a lot of dedication to do that. It takes years and a lot of dedication to be Usain Bolt, but I'm not going to spend my time running in circles around a track. It's just like I'm interested in creativity and creating things.
Exactly.
And I'm not an endurance athlete. If I was an endurance athlete, then it would make a whole lot of sense to sit there and go right, left, over and over until I was the fastest at it. But you're not creating anything new. You're just practicing the most foundational technique of the drum set faster than people. And to me, that just doesn't make any sense. But musically, if you can take that vocabulary and that skill and put it into a song and still figure out a way to make it interesting, creative, not just by yourself, but as a piece of a whole with drums and guitar and vocals, then we can talk. And there's bands that do that I listen to, But my problem with it is, from a drumming standpoint, it's just that, like, I just can't be bothered to run circles on repeat.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's how it feels like, at least. At least when you're practicing that stuff, it just feels like that. When I'm learning a really technical section, maybe time signatures are involved, maybe not, whatever it is. Just odd phrasing and groupings and syncopation, and time stands still. I'm gone because I'm so engrossed with how cool this is. And when I get it, it's going to be so fucking cool to put out, And same when I'm writing it, because I write enough to have experience on both sides, learning and writing. But when I'm doing the fast stuff, it's just agony. You literally get to the point where you're so sick of it, at least I am, that I have to put things on in the background to distract me through it. Like, I need a TV on, I need a podcast on. I cannot just be alone with the kid doing this, because it's like reading a children's book really, really fast over and over and over.
You're just, you're wasting your drum's potential.
That's what it feels like, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, today I tried actually to, because for the longest time, I mean, I'm total with you on that. I just like to I'm more for the pocket and for the groove and for creativity, but I just want to be able to do the blasts. I don't want to use them, but I want to know that I can. So today I tried to learn. Well, it's not learned for one day, I know, but I tried to even start with gravity blast. The blast beat on steroids, and I figured that it's never gonna sound like in the songs, because in the songs it's absolutely triggered. So I was like, why even bother? Why even waste time on that?
Keep going.
Well, that's it. I mean, I decided that my time would be more valuable if I put it in in musicianship instead of just being able to move my hand fast.
All right. Let's get talking with our guest here now that we're in the weeds of the drumming stuff.
I was about to say that music and cooking are actually very similar in terms of learning, because in order to create something new and something interesting, you need to learn a lot of basic and boring stuff. You can't create a masterpiece dish with no basic knowledge and skills. It's the same with the drumming and playing music. So, yes.
Yeah, I think it's the same in pretty much all creative pursuits. And I really, really stress this with my students, because a lot of them like to squirm inside of it and they don't want to do it because it's boring and it sucks. But if you don't have a really, really strong foundation for your house, it's the first moment of wind, it's going to blow all over. And that's what it comes down to, is like you have to build a unremarkably strong foundation to be able to execute at any high level. And so focusing more on the fundamentals and perfecting those will cascade in waves into whatever art you're trying to create later down the line.
That sounds like a metalcore band, Cascading Waves.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. You like that?
Yeah.
Some English for you.
You're never gonna forgive me the leaking part, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I'm gonna use it proper now. Without leaking too much information about the recipe, could you tell us if you have any special dish, like a signature dish or something that you came up with?
Actually, no, because my experience in professional kitchen is actually very little, like 3-4 years, of which three years I was pastry chef, not a real cook chef. So I was making more like cakes and that kind of stuff. And actually, I find it more interesting to create this kind of stuff, because it's really, how can I say it? It's hard. It's hard to make.
You mean the
sweet
pastry?
things. Yes, the pastry. It's harder than just cooking. At least for me. I don't know if everybody else think the same, but in pastry you need to be very precise. You need to measure everything. Every gram matters, and you can create really interesting and beautiful stuff. But actually, I have 2 or 3 things that I really like and create at home, but they are not ready to be shown to the world.
So
Yeah.
why isn't your channel revolving around pastry then?
Because my channel is all about the beginners, cooking for beginners. I create cooking lessons, so it's not so much about the recipe, it's more about the technique and what you
I
can
see.
learn. Yes, so you can cook a lot of things with this technique.
Nice.
And pastry, it will not create so many views. Not so many people are interested in pastry.
But everybody loves the cake.
Yes, but they just want to eat it, not make it.
True.
And everybody are now on keto diet, so nobody eats sugar.
Well, there goes my second question. What would be, okay, I'm not gonna say healthy, but let's say healthy enough desserts or pastry or whatever in that sense for us guys who are trying not to get fat.
For me, if you eat pastry, it must have chocolate, sugar, and butter, and it's about the quantity and the quality. You know, you better eat small amount, but really high quality stuff than something that will be labeled healthy, but it will taste like shit and it will have less calories.
Like the protein bars.
It's pure shit, and it's expensive, and I don't like them. I prefer to eat 20 grams of dark chocolate because happy. Yes.
Yeah. So if we're going to eat sweet, do it right.
Yes. Just avoid white sugar and that kind of stuff because everything that it's on the shop, these cheap sweets, they are full of sugar and nothing else. But if you take some high quality, let's say cake, it's with chocolate, you have butter and a lot less sugar inside. So yeah, chocolate also have sugar, but at least it's, let's say, dark chocolate have less. So
I've been really interested in cooking as of late. I think a big reason why is just because Lindsay is like a phenomenal cook herself, as far as like a hobbyist goes, and she in the evenings we spend a lot of time now watching cooking channels on YouTube, and the one thing that I'm noticing more and more with her dishes, and what I'm seeing on I'm seeing these professionals do on these cooking channels that she's obsessed with, is the one thing I'm noticing, and this is another parallel between music and food, and this parallel works the same into cinema, into dance, into visual arts, into any sort of expression, and that's the importance of balance, and what you just said goes against that, which is the supermarket shit. It's just gonna be filled with mainly sugar, and I feel like it's interesting how at a high end for any expressive art, the main focus is balance in all things. It's like in music, the bands that I listen to are the ones that are composed the best from a standpoint of balance. Like the songs are put together so that you have a little bit of everything. Then you have layers that create a whole instead of one overpowering substance. Because with me personally in the past, like when I described that 6-egg omelet, yeah, I was putting 6 egg scramble. I was putting 6 eggs in a pan, but I was just dousing it in hot sauce, one fucking flavor, and I was scarfing it back as fast as I could so I could get back to the drum set. There was no appreciation for like layering ingredients in a way that create an experience instead of just throwing it back for sustenance. Right. So I thought that was interesting when you brought that up. There's a lot of that in both fields I'm starting to learn.
Yeah.
yes.
And actually, what you just said, I have a huge eating problem, and that's I'm eating way too fast. I mean, I'm maybe because this is my everyday life, and I'm always hustling, or I'm always working at something and I don't have time. So I'm either eating standing up or walking, or if I sit at the table, I eat for like 4 minutes max.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way. I eat faster than anybody I know. People will like comment on Lindsay and I. We'll go out to dinner with friends, and we'll be literally finishing dessert, and they'll be on their appetizer. I kid you not. Like, we fucking move through food, man. And I don't know. I think you know what I've said to Lindsay over the years? I said when she met me, she'd always ask like, why do you eat so fast? Well, that's not true. She didn't ask that, but other people would. They'd comment, and I always hit them with the excuse of like, look, when I was strength training back then, so I'd be like, look, I spend 6 days a week in the gym, sometimes 2 a day. Okay. I eat 6 meals a day. If I don't eat fast, I'm going to spend my whole fucking day eating, right? And like, I think that was a big part of it for me, was just that like, and like you said, the speed of your day is such high intensity right now that your feeding yourself kind of matches that. But that doesn't mean it has to be that way forever. In fact, it shouldn't be, I don't think.
Yeah, well, the troubles come where it spills over to, times when you're with your girlfriend out somewhere and you're ordering something nice and you're talking and you're just like for 2 minutes and then you're just staring at the wall.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I can't say that with my girlfriend. She's faster than I am. But one thing that Lindsay's kind of like my shadow in a lot of ways from the standpoint of the phases that I go through in my life. She's like one step behind. So, not because she's, just because. Well, I'm a year older. I'm a year older, and I started this a lot sooner than she did. Right? Like I started working at this career and what I do now. When I was 14, and now I'm 25. She didn't really pick it up for herself until she finished university, which was like 3 years ago, right? Or 2 years ago. So, we're just at different phases. So a lot of the time, she's sort of following me into the next pursuit, into the next sort of phase of whatever it is. And I had my rise and grind phase, and Lindsay's in it right now. She's up there literally putting in the hours right now, and she like around the clock is. And whereas I'm not as much anymore, just because I'm a little bit more comfortable and I have the ability to grow in different ways instead of just intense grinding so that I can get enough money to live every day. I don't have to necessarily do that anymore, so I can have other pursuits. Like I'm learning how to paint. I'm learning how to play guitar. I'm worrying about other things in my life for the first time that I never thought I was going to ever have time for.
Oh, you're painting?
In those, yeah, I'm painting now. And in those pursuits, and there's more things I'm going to do as soon as fucking COVID opens and I can start taking some classes again. And in those pursuits, I'm growing in ways that I wasn't able to grow in the way that I was growing when I was building myself as an athlete, as a drummer, content creator, all the things that got me to this point. And I think that that's just how it is for you, man. And you're going to come out of this phase and hit the next one. So my thing with Lindsay nowadays is I'm a much slower thinker, and I'm a much slower person overall than I used to be. I'm purposely practicing being slower in all things. Thinking slower, eating slower, doing things with patience in mind. Because I've never practiced patience until now. And I'm doing these things because in the absence of the intensity, there's a lot of beauty that I'm uncovering and a lot of emotion and feeling that I buried inside of the discipline, right? When you're getting up at 2 a.m., you're not allowing yourself to ever feel tired. When you're following your routine and getting the fuck away from people because you have to do exactly what you need to do, you're not allowing yourself to feel any feelings. You're not allowing yourself to feel connected with anybody. You're not allowing yourself to feel hunger. You're not allowing yourself to feel tired. You're practicing taking the emotions you have that are you, putting it in a box inside and holding it inside. That's why my drum covers were so fucking good for so long, was because what you were seeing was all of the shit that I was pushing inside of myself explode out in this musical performance that was just me raping the shit out of my kit, right? For lack of a better word, right? So now I'm at a place where I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not suppressing my feelings because now I'm trying to figure out how to create something from scratch. And in order to do that, I have to know what's inside. And I've never looked inside before. And in looking inside, I'm trying my best to get more and more in touch with what it is I'm feeling in all things. How does this make me feel? Why does it make me feel that way? Is that good? Is that bad? Does it matter? You know, how can I express this, right? And those sorts of questions, the answers, they come from a quieter, consistent space, right? A stiller space. So Lindsay and I'm kind of leading the charge on, look, we need to slow down. You know, we need to eat slower. We need to do all things a little bit slower. And maybe we don't get the same insane fucking level of productivity out of each week. It will help us in the long run to grow in different ways. And actually, sometimes, you know, turtle wins the race. The slower you go, the more you are able to achieve within reason. And everything I just said is extremely specific to context. Like it comes down to where you are. I'm not saying any of this for listeners at home. I'm not saying any of this from any sort of standpoint as if I'm advising anybody to go in any certain direction. I'm just describing kind of the mindset of where I'm at in comparison to where I was sitting. Because if you are at the point in your life where you need to rise and grind and you just hear me said that and you go, oh, you know what, I'm going to actually take today off, well, you might be fucking up. So be careful, right?
Yeah, I remember actually, I think it was our last session with you when I was in your mentorship program. And this exact sentence about the turtle and the race, because we were talking about it and you were like, fuck turtle, slow pace wins the race. Fuck the turtle, go all in.
Well, my old mantra was Navy SEALs. If there's anything worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Like that's truly what I believed.
Yeah.
But I've moved away from that as I've As I
Yeah,
burnt
a
out
person
and
can
burnt out
change.
and burnt out and burnt out, I realized, holy shit, this is not going to get me to long-term health and happiness like I thought it was.
Yeah, true. So, do we have any questions from our stream?
I got 17 viewers. Of the 17 of you that are still hanging out, do any of you have questions for myself, Dimitar, or our guest today? Let's talk about something while the questions roll.
All right. Okay, so well, that's a bad moment to be out of ideas.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know. Stream will catch up.
I mean,
Wyatt, are you 25? That's an easy question. Yes, I'm 25 years old, my friend.
you're a young
I
one.
feel old now.
Oh, really? How old are you guys?
32.
I'm
32.
26.
Dimitar's 26. I was about to say, Dimitar, don't feel old. You're a year older than me. Jesus Christ.
But I look like 10 years older, like than you.
Well, you don't have any hair, so what are you going to do?
And I don't have any beard, so they still
You look-
want ID card in the shop for the beard that I buy.
Yo, Dimitar's got a beard. He's jacked as fuck, and he doesn't have any hair, and he's got all these tattoos. Dimitar looks like he's like
I'm fucking
late
prisoner.
30s, ready to kill somebody, bro. Like, I remember showing you to Chad after we did the, and Chad goes, "Wow, he's a badass motherfucker." I was like, "I know."
Thanks,
You never
Chad.
guess he has such a soft, sweet inside, creamy nugget inside.
Yeah, I'm all about the lovey-dovey stuff.
Yeah, I know you are. despite the fucking rock
Appearance.
level intensity on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we got here? You sound older, wiser, dude, which is quite impressive. Thank you. I appreciate that compliment. Do you guys have any questions, though, for any of us? Nah, it looks like we're good. We can call it at this point. We're over an hour now anyway.
Yeah, it's 1 hour now. And
Oh, here's a question.
Yeah?
What made him start cooking for our guest?
Oh, what made me start cooking? Actually, first job that I have in my life, it was in McDonald's. I worked there 7 years, which is like a lot. And after that, actually my education is financial. I don't study cooking at all. And when I changed the town that I live, I take a cooking class and I take a certificate, or I don't know, they just give me, and they actually liked me there, and I start cooking in a hotel, in one hotel here in Sofia. So yeah, this is the start of my career. But when I was in university, I just needed to cook for myself because I live alone, and I get sick of all this pizza and kebab that Dimitar talked about.
you can never get sick of kebab.
Yeah,
Dude, what? Oh, okay, keep going.
These king size kebabs, they kind of start gaining weight on me, and I need to start cooking some better food for myself.
Just eat them without the fries.
No. You can't eat kebab without the fries.
I love that. No.
This is not the way we do it here.
Blasphemy. Are you kidding me, bro?
And more spicy sauce, garlic sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Very well.
It was real pleasure for me, guys. If we don't have any more questions, I can wish you good night or good day. I don't know.
It's a good day for Wyatt.
Yeah.
It's good evening. It's almost 5. Or it's 4. It's 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock.
I need to
man,
move to
thank
Canada.
you so much. Thank you so much. What was your name again? I keep saying...
Miroslav.
Miro.
Yeah,
Miro. Perfect. I can do
Yes.
Miro. Thank you for putting that
Thank
in
you
a
too.
stupid tongue for me.
Yeah. Well,
Miro. It was really nice
we're
meeting
not
you,
very
Chef
happy
Miro.
with it either. So, this was for today. I too had a blast. So, thanks for listening to us for the whole 60 minutes. And as always, we keep the right to invite you again if you're up to it.
Absolutely.
of
I'd love
course.
to have you back, Chef Miro. It was really wonderful to
Thank
speak
so
with you for
much.
this hour.
Yes, for me also.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right.
Bye
cool.
and have a good one.